my...
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
We know, bitch.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy De Niro coming at you this week with some more bullshit. And please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell at the bottom.
Yeah, it's your boy Perico Uno Momento Mono.
2 hours later.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Flocka. Thank you for joining No Bullshit, and make sure you subscribe to the button on the bottom.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunshine. Welcome to our podcast, No Bullshit. And like my homegirl Flocka said, please don't forget to subscribe to the button below.
I think I'm the only pendejo that didn't say subscribe or like.
Please subscribe, everyone, please.
Everyone, please.
And that notification bell so you can be alerted whenever we post new content.
Yes. So you notice by his inconspicuous absence, the chef is not here. He's on a business call, but he will be joining us shortly. He's just hands on some No Bullshit business.
Yeah, so
How was
guys, let's
everyone's
get started.
weekend?
Let's get started on some bullshit.
Word, how was everyone's weekend?
It was awesome. Giants
It was-
lost.
That's awesome.
Oh my god. You want to start off with that?
That's how my week started. Listen, that's how my week started. All right. So like, never mind. I burned myself. Never mind. I burned myself.
The boys in blue lost. The boys in blue lost. We lost, but we lost more than just losing the L. We lost a lot of players due to injury.
What?
So-
It was like Dallas was like, yeah, y'all heard our boy Dak. We taking some people off. You heard one, we're hurting many.
They came back. Well, I want to add that I think that being that this was week 5, and last year in week 5 was when Dak actually got injured. Right. So I thought that was kind of like, wow, that's crazy, because then we lose our quarterback.
Word.
I was like,
So we ain't losing for like the season, thank God.
Oh yeah, thank God it's not a season-ending injury. He'll
De
probably
Niro's-
be back in about 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks
Yeah.
minimum, three
He has to
latest.
follow protocol. Yeah.
Like he can be okay 1 week, but they're not gonna put him in next week.
Right.
Yeah, because that boy looked like he looked
Yo,
pale. Like
yo,
when
He
they
stumbled
when
on
they
air.
Yo, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, he
he
really
looked
did.
pale. And his lips looked like purple, like when they zoomed into his face. Like I
He looked
forgot
out
who
of
was
it.
it, but one of the offensive linemen, when he got back up, he like grabbed him by the helmet and they like tapped helmets and he was like talking to him. When they zoomed in his face, he looked like a ghost. Like
It's sad to see. Like I'm the type, I don't care what kind of sport it is, you know what I mean? Any kind of sport, when I see someone get hurt, like my heart hurts, you know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, we're all human, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
you know, it's just
that's their
yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what team either, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's the Giants or whoever I see playing and someone gets hurt, my heart goes out to them, you know?
But
Yeah.
De Niro's, congrats on your win.
Yeah.
Yes, congrats.
Congrats.
I mean, it was
a good
scary
game.
in the beginning. It was a good game. It was scary for me in the beginning because you guys were doing your shit and.
But we didn't
fell down.
we didn't commit like you guys did. Like when on our takeaways, there were some that we could have scored and we didn't.
We were being really sloppy.
Y'all had some
surprisingly.
sloppy play. So yeah, but it wasn't.
You guys were a solid. Yeah, you guys were a solid team yesterday.
Yeah, we're definitely
a solid team. Because you guys had a takeover from, I think twice you had a takeover, no? From the same person?
Takeaway.
His Diggs, Trevon Diggs, his name is?
Yeah, Diggs is a problem.
He looked good yesterday. And your offensive players, because not only do they have Ezekiel, but now they have the other guy, Pollard, who actually...
Pollard was good, yes.
Yeah, he actually runs really good too. So they got
a
dual threat there.
We're leading the league in rushing.
Yeah, number one rushing right now.
Wow. for us to not have any kind of running game and now be leading the league in running, I'm like, wow, okay.
No, that you know that's player growth. And that's what you want to see in your team. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, the team is
Offensive
growing.
line. That's a
Mhm.
good offensive line because they're providing their blocks, and that's a great running back you have. You have
Yeah.
like honestly the NFC East, the Giants and Dallas both have I think um the best out of the NFC East has the best running backs.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
I will say
And
that.
speaking of running backs, any update on Barkley? Because his ankle.
Yeah, it looks bad.
Yo, so so I was reading today that Barkley is actually that he just sprained his ankle and that he
Oh,
should
thank
be
God
back
for
in
you
about
guys.
2 weeks. In about 2 weeks. So he's also going to be coming back as well. So hopefully the next time we see Dallas would be with all of our players and it'll be an even more intense game.
I would hope that for you guys because I do feel like in order to be the best, you have to beat the best, and we gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
shout out to
Here he goes with the Ric Flair quote. Here he goes with the Ric Flair quote. I love it.
I wanna go against the healthy team. You know what I mean?
No,
That's how
yeah,
it's fair.
yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Kadarius Toney because he looks great. I'm excited about him.
Did.
Yeah,
Rookie,
he was awesome that game.
He played last game too. He also looked good last week. So I
He did.
hope that but that makes me a little bit worried because I mean, what kind of evaluation of talent are we missing out on because these players
That they're
are
on the
not
bench.
playing? Right.
Mhm.
That these players are not playing. So now we don't even know. And the running back looked pretty good, Booker. He also looked
Yeah,
pretty
Booker. Yeah.
So
All right. So I'm gonna say it. That quarterback that came in place of Jones, he looks like Roger Klotz
Who?
oh yeah, he looks funny.
from
He's
Doug.
like
Oh,
The green guy.
yeah.
He looks like Roger Klotz.
he kind of looked like Napoleon Dynamite to me. He kind of had like
John
that.
Henner?
Yeah, he kind of looked like when they
I could
did the
see it.
close up of his face. Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon.
Lennon, yeah.
So I'm like, oh my god, I'm just like, can't wait to
That's
have.
all right.
I'm just nervous about the next 2 weeks because all of our good players are gone at the moment. So we got Lennon, you know what I mean? And then of course Blake Martinez is not playing with us either
Oh man, my
on
boy.
defense.
That's my boy right
Yeah,
there.
he's done for the year though.
Yeah,
He's done
that's
for
some
the
of
year,
linebackers,
and he
yeah.
was a big asset to our defense, and our defense is looking a little rocky.
There was
I mean,
another
our
player
defense-
that got hurt yesterday for you guys. I think his name was Gollum.
Gollum.
Okay. He also got hurt. His was a knee injury, I believe.
Yeah, he did get hurt. I read about him.
So
And
it's like the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be interested to see if we pull through, if we get these wins or not. You know what I mean? It's going to be a little bit of a nervous game. These are going to be nervous games for me.
Yeah,
You know what I
feel you.
mean?
But you know what they say, and I'm a quote honestly, Mama Pinero, aka Mama Sunshine. She said like we were talking yesterday before she went on vacay, and she said like who knows, we might have some hidden gems on the bench. Because these are players that want to show off 100. Yeah, they're gonna give everything because they want to be on the field.
Yes,
so
exactly.
This is your moment, guys.
This is right.
It is, and I was talking to El Chefe about it, and I was like, listen, like we do have, the second string or whatever, and I'm sure there has to be some good ones on there, and he's like, well, sometimes he's like, you know what? He's like, it's hard to find really good second string. And I'm like, yeah, but that's because we don't give them a chance. Like we got to let them show up. You know what I'm saying? So this is the time.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate. Go ahead, Sunshine.
I was just gonna say that I disagree with El Chefe because we found a lot of our talent through second string. Actually, Victor Cruz was a second string that only got his start break in preseason. He blew up in preseason, right? So, and then on top of that, Kadarius Toney is a rookie. This is his first year. He was not starting because there was Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton and Kenny Golladay. So now that they're all out, he's shining right now. So he's already proving that we do have talent on the bench.
So what you want
to piggyback? I was going to piggyback on what she was saying because we would have never knew what we had in Dak until Romo got hurt.
Exactly.
Right.
Because when Romo got hurt years ago with the clavicle, they put Dak up, and we never heard about Romo again.
Yeah, everyone thought, and honestly, everyone thought like
Romo conceded. He conceded to Dak Prescott because he realized that he was better, and Romo was he was older already, so he knew that he had his time up.
And honestly, I think like as a veteran, that's a classy move, and he probably wanted to get a ring before he said his goodbyes.
But you couldn't deny that this kid had the chops at the time that Romo wasn't doing.
Right.
So
I feel like he's doing better. I think he's doing better than Romo.
No, he's
I do agree.
He's definitely doing better than Romo.
Oh, by far. I'm not a big fan of Romo, but anyway.
Yeah, Prescott's definitely he's doing his thing. Yeah. And like I said, he came back off a really bad injury last year, and he looks good. He came out swinging since the first game.
He has something to prove. He has something to prove, and he's proven it.
Yeah.
And I hope he continues to prove it because he's a good quarterback.
And it was a good game until our players started falling apart. I called it, what I call it, crumbled. They were crumbling.
Yeah, we crumbled.
I was like, oh my God. And then, oh my God. And then, oh my God. Then I'm like, oh my God, the score. And then, oh my God. Like, it was
like. Speaking
I'm not gonna lie. I was worried. I really was. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna beat our ass.
We started off strong, so I got to give it to our team. And you know what? We still, even though we lost and we had a lot of our players were out, we still tried our best at the end, even though. So
yeah, and we made some. We scored.
We did.
Scored after Jones and everybody got hurt. We scored.
Yeah, you guys did get the touchdown.
Yo, that guy. What's his name that got the touchdown? But his helmet fell, and like the way he got the touchdown was hilarious. I was laughing.
It's Booker. His last name is Booker, but I forgot his first name.
Because the way he was trying to grab, like try to pull it through, and it was just the way he fell, everything, like the way he got tackled, it was just a funny way of getting a touchdown. But he still got it though. So
yeah, he still got it. He fought for it. He fought for it.
So not to switch it up, but I know two people on this two hosts had some very spicy things to talk about.
That indeed we do. Sunshine, you want to take the lead, or do you want me to go?
I'll let you have the floor. Oh, me?
Okay.
All right.
De Niro.
No, let's let De Niro have the floor.
Yeah, go ahead, De Niro.
All right, mine's a quick update. You know, we've been following this R. Kelly trial and all that, and I just wanted to get into the fact that he is actually now whistleblowing and gonna work with the government so they can, I guess, lower his sentence, even though he's not been sentenced as of yet. And some of the names on that list weren't surprising, and some of them I kind of gotta admit got me. One of the names was Scott Storch. Another one, Dame Dash.
I'm not.
Another one, even though I opened that door last week or the week before, Jay-Z. He also mentioned Diddy.
Sus.
Word.
Diddy's been sus.
But the two that did shock me were Jermaine Dupri and Timbaland.
Yeah. That's shocking.
I mean, I don't know.
No, again, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Well,
it's surprising. It's surprising.
The one that's shocking me the most is Jermaine Dupri, because I did show you guys a clip of Timbaland admitting that he was in love with Aaliyah.
Yeah, so, I was gonna get into that a little bit too, because like if you follow, okay, this is my theory. One of the charges that he was found guilty for was trafficking. Now, if you really follow the timeline of Aaliyah, she was with him, they got married, whatever happened there, happened there. Then she started working with Timbaland. After her working with Timbaland, she got introduced to Jay-Z. After her working stuff with Jay-Z, she was introduced to Dame Dash. So it kind of got me thinking, like, is that not a line of trafficking that's taking place?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Could be, because
allegedly.
Jay-Z and Dame Dash
we're gonna say allegedly, yeah.
Jay-Z and Dame Dash were on the same record label, so Rockefeller. So,
Yeah.
but also Jay-Z and Beyonce. Beyonce was a baby when Jay-Z started talking to her. She had to
She
be
was
like
17.
yeah, and he was already like almost 30.
And Foxy Brown, when she came out, like I had said in the previous podcast, she was 16. So
I don't know. I don't know what it is about these people allegedly doing this to these younger females or males, doesn't matter what age, but it's just like the age is like is what's shocking. You know what I mean? Like when I look at a picture and I see a boy who's like 17, I see a kid. I literally see a kid who's growing up, who's, yeah, you know what? Some 17-year-olds look a little bit older. They got muscles, they look cute and stuff, but I still see a kid. I don't see like, oh, let me try to fall in love with this. No, I see a boy or a girl, growing up into their own. You know what I'm saying? And they have their whole lives, and I feel like a mothering kind of love for that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like so when someone talks about, oh, I like this girl, I fell in love with this one and she was only like 14, I'm like, what? Like their mindset is totally different from yours. If an 18-year-old is not going to think like a 30-year-old. So it's like it's mind-blowing to hear these things, and it's like we like all these people, we like their music, you know what I mean? And then to hear something like this is just, it's kind of putting like a sourness in my view.
It definitely opens up a can of worms. I'm not gonna say I'm entirely surprised though, because it's just been so much happening as of late. But there's been so many things that has been going, like spilling through, I should say, with Hollywood and like what they're really about, because stuff has just been like it was like Harvey Weinstein, there's R. Kelly, then there was what's his name, Kevin Spacey. Like there's just been a plethora of people from Hollywood, not just specifically just the rappers, but in Hollywood in general, that's just been
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby's another one. Let's see, Tiana and Tiny just got hit with, recently with allegations. Like
yeah, but they got off on this shit.
Yeah, but they got off on a technicality, not because they're not guilty. I just want to make that clear.
And he got a new show coming out, so somebody paying the piper.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, R. Kelly.
But my thing is, if he's got a show out, who's really gonna be watching? You know what I'm saying? Is it gonna cancel within the first season?
You'll be surprised.
You'd be surprised, Waka. You'd be surprised. Like there's a in Hollywood is about. I don't want to get too much into that, but Hollywood is about who's willing to do the dance, So it's whoever's it's like Little Puppet and they're doing a dance, So it's whoever's gonna kiss ass the most. That's who you're gonna see a lot of on the TV.
That's sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark shit.
Well, to quote Jennifer Lopez in the movie Hustlers, the whole world's a strip club. There's somebody throwing the money and someone doing the dance.
Right. Mm-hmm. That was very fitting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's just, yeah.
Speaking of Hollywood,
Sunshine got some tea.
Speaking of Hollywood, I'm sure everybody's been seeing social media exploding with Dave Chappelle. It wouldn't be Dave Chappelle if he didn't offend somebody, right?
Facts.
So let's get into this. So basically, Dave Chappelle has a new stand-up on Netflix. I believe it just came out on Friday. It's called The Closer. In the special, before I even saw the special, I just saw people upset because labeling him transphobic and wanting to cancel him because he is transphobic and he's not in support of the LGBTQIA plus community, and just basically tearing the man down. I didn't even watch the stand up yet. That was the first thing I saw when I woke up Friday morning. So naturally, when I came home, I was like, oh man, new Dave Chappelle stand up. I'm gonna watch it. Right. So I turn it on and I actually watched the stand up. And to be honest, the attack against him about him being transphobic, I do not agree with. And after watching that special, I believe that the people that are actually upset about this have not even bothered to watch it. I just think that they saw an article that said that he was transphobic and just took that shit and ran with it. Because if you watch the whole thing, and I think it's very surprising that they're talking about how all the jokes that he made about the transgenders, but they didn't talk about, I don't see any headlines of him talking about his friend Daphne Dorman. For those of you who haven't watched the stand-up, towards the end, his very last segment of his stand-up, he talks about a transgender woman that he met and came to be friends with named Daphne Dorman. And it's a very beautiful and touching scene. He says a lot of beautiful things in that segment. And he reveals that his friend, Daphne, actually committed suicide 6 days after she was his opening act. Because she stood up for him. All because she stood up for him. People began to attack her and say that very nasty, mean things about her. And her being a transgender woman, she felt like her community turned on her. And they was bringing light to an issue that is very relevant to our world today. And that is cancel culture and bullying and not being able to accept other people's opinions without siding. And I think it's a very interesting thing, guys. Did you guys watch it?
I did.
I watched it as well.
I haven't. I have yet to watch it. And I'm not gonna lie, as someone who hasn't watched it, I'm gonna say this just real quick. I know, like, if you ever watched Dave Chappelle back in the day, growing up, I'm pretty sure everyone watched Chappelle and his stand-ups. He's always talked about what's happening in the world at that moment. He always does that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I haven't heard the jokes, and he probably could have said something insensitive that may have offended some people. But at the end of the day, there's no reason for him to get canceled. Because I see it like this. That's like me. I brought up, I don't know, anybody heard on the last two podcast story time with Pico, the West Sox. I'm over here making fun of myself. That's like I make fun of De Niro, Sunshine, or Flocka, Chefe, and they bring up West Sox, and I automatically start a whole argument. I want to fight them, and they're off the podcast and all this other BS. But I just made fun of them. It's okay that I made fun of them, but when I get made fun of, that's not okay. That's how I see it. You know, that's just my 2 cents. I'm entitled to it.
You're right. You know what? And I've always said this about comedy. Comedy, nobody is safe in comedy. No one. No one.
Yeah.
And if you're sensitive or if you're easily offended, then I suggest don't watch comedy. Then don't watch the stand-up comedies because they're gonna make fun of everyone. And see, that's the thing. It's supposed to be funny and you're supposed to laugh at yourself. It's okay to laugh at yourself. It's okay to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and relate to his jokes. You know, anyone's jokes, any comedian. You know what I mean? He talks about females. He talks about females all the time. You know, and somebody calls us and he calls us he likes to call us bitches. And you know what? Like, it's funny when he's saying it, but I'm not taking offense to that. You know what I mean? It's part of his act. You know, he's not saying, Flocka, you're like calling me a bitch, you know, just like, oh, you know what, you're a bitch. Like, then I would be like, what the hell? Then I would be offended. Like, seriously? Like, you don't even know me. But he's saying it in general, and it's supposed to be funny. You know what I mean? So I don't take things to heart like that. And I feel like if someone does, then they shouldn't be watching comedy. I mean, it's that simple. You shouldn't be canceling them because they're saying things that offend you. You know what I mean? Like, and some of the things he's saying on the special, were really funny. It was really funny. I laughed at a lot of his jokes. You know what I mean? So I don't see what the big hype was, because like Sunshine said, at the end he had like this whole thing about his friend, the transgender, the female, and that she passed away, and that's really sad. For her own, like, what did she say? Her own community, turning against her, and that's something that's very sad to see, especially when your opinion doesn't, it's people's opinions. You know what I mean? It's like, it's an opinion, and if you don't agree, then agree to disagree. Don't attack and belittle someone. I don't know.
De Niro?
So I had a little bit of a different experience watching it. I wouldn't say not too much different, but somewhat. I mean, yes, comedy is all about joking and being able to take a joke. Some things I don't think are jokes, or maybe a little bit below the belt, but I wouldn't consider canceling somebody for pushing an envelope or pressing the button. I'm a button presser, so I want to press the button too. It was distasteful. One thing I peeped when he was saying LGBTQIA, that when the whole situation with the baby, he pushed the button. And he said, oh, he really pushed the button. He punched the LGBTQIA community right in the AIDS. It's not that I didn't like his joke because I laughed. I didn't like the stereotype that if you are LGBTQIA, you're automatically stereotyped to have AIDS. But as I continue to watch the special, because I am a big fan of Dave Chappelle's and I've seen everything he has done, I would think I would know him better as a person, that he is not in that way. And when he started getting into the topic of his friend Daphne, it really touched my heart, because you can see the pain he was going through, that his friend had passed away. That touched me, and it kind of made me like, okay. So initially my reaction was, oh shit, that's fucked up. And then it was like, okay, you're not really like that. It was a joke. I can take a joke. It was a little insensitive, but I get it. I can be insensitive too. No one's perfect. Everyone has said fucked up shit about somebody at some point. So I don't think he needs to be canceled for it. I enjoyed his comedy special. Like he said, it's an art. You take away what you interpret from the art.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that too. And I just want to add one thing, especially for our younger listeners, like the Generation Z, because this was a little before your guys' time. Dave Chappelle, when he came out with Chappelle's Show, it was a success. He had 2 seasons with that show. He literally made fun of everything. He had a whole damn racial draft at one point where where the Asian community fucking drafted Wu-Tang Clan. And I think they wanted to trade. I think the white community wanted to trade with the black community. They wanted Eminem. They wanted Eminem, and they were like, you could take Mariah Carey's crazy ass.
Yeah,
right?
Mariah Carey.
So, like, they said that you could take, and they
offering, and no, but my bad. I'm sorry, Sunshine. But they ended up taking the counter offer. Take Eminem. They can have Brian Gumble and Condoleezza Rice.
Yes,
that's true. And I think that what I'm trying to say by this is that Dave has always talked about whatever was going on in that era. In Chappelle's Show, he made fun of Making the Band, which was popular at that time. He made fun of Real World, which was also popular at that time. He made fun of slavery, and he's a black man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that he's touched on. Like, he made Asian jokes, like he made all kind of things. The only thing now is that he's turning it into a different demographic, and it's only because that's what's happening right now in this era. And that's, so he's talking about the issues at hand while also making jokes at them. And I'm going to say that if Dave Chappelle is going to be transphobic, then he also has to be a sexist and a racist. And he's just not any of those things. He's not any of those things, because there's a message in everything that he puts out, especially his stand-ups. That's where his most powerful messages are. And I want to say that Dave Chappelle, back when they were going to renew for season 3 of the Chappelle Show, Dave Chappelle declined $50 million offer. And the reason he did that was because he felt like the jokes that he was making, that the popular, or I should say the majority, or not the majority, how is it, like minority, majority? No, what's that word I'm looking for? The higher ups, I should say. They were making fun of, they were actually laughing at him instead of with him. And he felt like they were trying to take over what he created, and they were trying to take his integrity. So he stood up for injustice. He stood up for racial injustice, and he stood up for what he believed in, and walked away from $50 million, which is hard for a lot of people to do.
Yeah.
So I just
And
want
he
to
actually-
add that. I just want to add that because he is a man about his belief. And just because he makes a joke about something doesn't mean that he's trying to attack this specific group, or he's trying to be transphobic, or whatever you want to call him. He's a comedian.
And not for nothing, in the special, he was actually making jokes about women's rights. And he was going on. And then at the end, he was like, oh, you know what? I should be the leader of the feminist group, you know? And he made a comment about, well, if I'm the leader, then you need to suck my, you know. So it was funny. It was funny. And I feel like I wasn't offended by that joke. Like, I was not offended by it at all. Like, it was just like, I just started laughing, you know what I mean? And like, some people would probably take offense to it. Oh, how dare he's talking about the feminists, and, you know, this is our, you know, and and in my mind, I'm like, it's funny. It's meant to be funny. It's not meant to be like, how dare you?
Well,
you know what I mean? Because I'm all for
that.
girl power. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for girl power. You know what I'm saying? But
this is where I differ from that, because as he was telling that joke, you can also tell that it was an actual joke from how he was delivering it. The comment he made, as far as punching them right in the AIDS, was just a comment. It wasn't like,
I don't see it that way. I didn't see it that way, I should say. You know,
because
I didn't.
Like I said, it was the stereotype though. The stereotype is what, me being a homosexual male, you're stereotyping me saying that I have AIDS, but I don't.
See, but I understand that to an extent, because just as you took it that way, there could have been a bunch of Black people who took all his slavery jokes offensively.
I agree, but like I was saying before, that hit me in a different way. But then as I continued to watch it, and I was seeing how he was portraying his friend Daphne and how everything was happening there, then I understood, okay, he didn't mean it in that sense. But initially, yes, I did get offended, because he wasn't like bringing you to the story to bring it back to the beginning again in a joke. It was literally a comment as he was continuing on with what he was discussing.
But it fell onto that topic. It wasn't just a random comment. It wasn't just a random comment. But it still felt
different. It hit me differently. I can't deny that.
No, I get you. And as you said, it's just, you know, some of us are a little more prone to being sensitive than others. And that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that people interpret things differently. And as far as in that specific case, I mean, I understand it, but I mean, he made fun of some feminist things too. And I'm a woman. And I mean, me personally, I didn't take it any kind of way, because I also know that he's just joking. But that's not
That's what I said too. I don't think
such as yourself, De Niro, that if you felt like, you know, that was a little under the belt, I can't tell you how to feel, you know? Mm-hmm. So I get that too.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, everyone has a difference of opinion. I said this just a few minutes ago. Everyone has a difference of opinion. Everyone has a different way of their feelings, but to knock someone down and say, you know, these mean things to them, or to try to cancel them because you don't agree, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. If everyone thought the same, it would be boring. And not for nothing, nobody is perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. So just because Jane Doe, says something mean to her friends, I'm sure she doesn't want them to not talk to her anymore because she was being mean to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she's like, she'll plead, oh, I'm so sorry, I want my friends back. She would want that second chance. She'll want them to see that she was remorseful or that she didn't mean it that way. So to cancel people because they say something that you don't like, I disagree. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else is going to be like, oh, I didn't mean it that way, or I didn't say it that way, and I meant it this way and that way. But we don't cancel everybody right away. Then if we canceled everyone, no one would be friends. We wouldn't be talking to each other.
What they would be the first people canceled.
Exactly. They'll be the first people not to even talk anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it will be done. I'll cancel family. You know what I mean? And then nobody would be talking to each other. You know what I mean? Like the world would be silent. You know what I mean? So it's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's all about respect. We got to respect each other's opinion, and we just got to love. It's all about love. I feel like nowadays everything is about hate and, what is it? A division. Yeah. And no, it's not about that. It's about love. We gotta respect each other, even if we don't agree. Be like, you know what? I still love you. You're still my boy. You're still my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
My man used. Basically, they like everybody. We all have the right to freedom of speech, and he used this freedom of speech. And to cancel somebody for their freedom of speech is totally wrong.
Yeah.
Like I get now if you're like if he was constantly like as gay people and that community can go to hell. We don't need them. Like I'd be like whoa, buddy, you need to go that way. Like like keep it the fuck over there. Like you need to calm it the fuck down. Then you need to get canceled. But like again, like I said, like De Niro said, like we all said, everyone's gonna feel differently. They're gonna take it how they want. They're not take it how they want. They're all gonna interpret it their way, not their way, but like in their own way. And people are gonna feel that how they feel, and everyone's entitled to that. Like De Niro said, like he like as his for him from his experiences, he felt this way. He still enjoyed the thing. He said, as he said, I'm not for canceling the guy. He just said something that I didn't agree with. And I respect that.
Me too.
That listen, yeah. I'm not out here like I respect, the cable guy, Jeff Foxworthy. I respect those guys as comedians and stuff. Half the stuff majority of the stuff they say, I definitely don't agree with. They do say some funny stuff, like if I do hear it, there's some stuff I'd be like, oh, that's funny. I laugh at it, but it's not like, oh, you got canceling because I don't agree with it.
They talk about white people all the time. Dave Chappelle, like all of them, but they still show up to it. But they still show up.
Comedians, all comedians talk about all types of races.
And they still show up to their stand-ups. Yeah.
All types of religion, sexuality, And then like I'm gonna say back then it wasn't as accepted as it is now. Like now, like shit.
Yeah. Now it's now we're a lot more accepting than we were back in the day. That's for sure. We're all opening our minds, and like I said, like I feel like some of it's about like it's a beautiful thing to see when you accept someone for who they are. You know what I mean? And then it's just sad to also see when there's a division. You know what I mean? Like that, it's a beautiful thing and it's a sad thing at the same time.
But that's what a lot of the stuff is like. See, that's what a lot of this stuff is meant to do. It's meant to divide. It's meant to divide because there's some people that are gonna be like, yeah, I get it, and then there's some people that are gonna find like an issue in it, and it's across the board. It's across the board because the world one has definitely got more sensitive because these things that like if you go back to the 90s and watch all the whether comedy or movies and how that era was, if you put it like in today's world, they're gonna find a way to cancel that. Look at Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew. They canceled Pepe Le Pew from being on Space Jam.
I remember.
You know?
I
No,
remember.
they can't. They can't. Yeah, he's not even on like HBO
He's
Max.
not.
None of that stuff. Like you don't even see him in
No,
like his
they
episode.
completely erased him. They completely erased him, and it's because they felt like he was being like a predator, right? And then at first, like I'm not gonna lie, like at first I was like, okay, I can
You
see
see
that
tendencies.
he was always harassing the cat. But then my mom actually brought up a very valid point that put things into perspective for me, and she told me that because mommy grew up on those cartoons. She grew up on Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
So she said that what she got out of that was Pepe Le Pew is a skunk. Skunks stink. The cat was running away from him because he stank, not because he was harassing her, but because, and he thought that she was a skunk because remember, like the paint would fall on her and then it would look like she was a skunk. And every time Pepe Le Pew was about to come out, you see the cat sniffing, like she could smell him already. So I was just like, whoa, when my mom said that, I was just kind of like, wow, okay, that kind of like mind fucked me a little bit because I was just like, oh, light bulb moment, eureka, right? So like, I just think like things like that, that's a little too much. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing too much. And then it's kind of a bad thing because when you do too much, when it's time to take the real serious issues seriously, nobody's going to give a fuck. Because you know what I'm saying? Because you're crying wolf for every little thing. And there's way bigger issues. There's way bigger issues going on in the world. Okay, so transgender are upset about this, and there's been like a plethora of transgender deaths in the US. Did anybody know that? That there's a big uprising in that. That's more issues that they should be focused on. You know what I'm saying?
And I believe majority of them are like focused on that. But I think it's like the toxic, like toxic part of that community. Okay, well, not even that community of cancel culture and people who are part of cancel culture. Because I'm not gonna like cancel culture. There's some good people in cancel culture, like we said before, and there's some very toxic people. You know, every fan base, everybody has a fan base, so you have that toxic culture. And I think those are the ones that's like really like pushing it.
Yeah, it's definitely like Generation Z. It's like the new school, I want to say. It's definitely more of the new school. And it's like Dave said in the special, you're not gonna get anywhere if you continue to if you continue to be on the bus, right? Because he said that if Martin Luther King were to go on, say, hey, we're still gonna go on the bus, but we're just going to be color coordinated this time.
Yeah, we're going to be in the back of the bus, but we're going to be color coordinated. What the hell is that
solving? Yeah, like that's not solving anything. Like I believe that cancel culture can be positive if it sticks to the issues at hand. That it could definitely be positive and bring a positive change. But if y'all going to continue to nitpick at all this other crap, it's not going to go anywhere, and it's not going to be positive. It's going to be, as Panero said, it's going to be toxic. I mean, and that's like, not the direction we want to go.
Like, look at this. Like, didn't they cancel the baby?
Yeah, but he was outlandish. Like he
needed. No, but I'm saying, but like, no. I'm not using that. I'm not using that like thing. But I'm saying they canceled the baby, right? DK, the baby's still popping.
Yeah, he's so starting.
Like, what the fuck? So what was the purpose of like I get like it was fucked up what he said. I don't agree. I definitely don't agree with what the fuck he said when he did. But what the fuck? Like that caused the uproar real quick and nothing happened. Look, we are trying to cancel Dave. Netflix already said they ain't removing his special. So y'all can stop it. Y'all can stop it right now. Yeah, he may have said something. He like, you know, like everybody says, again, when nobody's perfect, we're all human, and at the end of the day, Dave Chappelle's a fucking human being. You know, yeah. I didn't even know. You know I didn't even know till we had this personal discussion that his opener was Daphne Dorman, and she was, she was changing. Well, I thought it was the opener.
No, he closed it out with that.
No. I'm
He
saying like that
opened the
was
show
his.
for him
Yeah,
before.
that's what I'm saying. Like he was his
Oh,
opener for his shows.
Oh, the opening act. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So like I didn't know. Like I know comedians like big name comedians always use openers, but I didn't know like his opener was a transgender. You know, and that's his best friend. And I believe De Niro's was the one that said this that he said when he sees his Daphne's son, he's like, I knew your father, and she was a hell of a woman.
Word.
You know, like that shit had me dying. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't see the special, but that shit had me dying.
Yeah,
Like,
I think overall, what Dave was trying to say is that you cannot you got to be able to respect people even if there's a difference of opinion, not to the point where we're becoming disrespectful and we'll be belittling each other. And I'm talking to you, Twitter, because there's a lot of that shit going on Twitter. So
talking to you, Twitter fingers.
There's a lot of that shit going on, a lot of bullying going on, because that's really what it is. It's bullying. And that's, what's the sense in that? And cyberbullying is a very real thing. There's been a lot of people who commit suicide because of what strangers on the internet have said to them. And because words hurt. Right, words hurt, which brings back, it drives us back home to what De Niro was saying. Sometimes words do hurt. And we don't want to, and as Dave said at the end of his special, he will not be telling any more jokes like that until we're all laughing together. So I thought that was beautiful. I thought he did it beautiful. And no, I am not on the hate Dave train. I don't think you could ever cancel Dave Chappelle. I'm sorry. Like, Dave Chappelle is just, he's what this world needs.
We grew up on him. We grew up on Dave Chappelle.
Not even grew up. It's like no bull. Like what he did. Like, come on. Like offered him $50 million to walk away from $50 million. I don't think none of us walk away from $50 million.
I don't know. I got to see the terms and agreement on
that.
No,
I got to see the contract. I got to see the contract.
That brings me up.
Hold on, Flocka. Wait, hold your thought real quick. I'm saying like, all right, let me revise it. On certain conditions, I don't think any of us would walk away from 50 million. We don't know what he was asked to do for the 50 million. That motherfucker walked away from it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He lost his show. He's not even getting royalties, I believe, from his show being on HBO Max and Netflix. Like.
I think he was fighting that, by the way.
No, I believe so. Because I know on one of his specials he mentioned that. He ain't saying no damn royalties.
No, yeah. He actually was trying to boycott like HBO Max and stuff because they were playing Chappelle's show and not honoring his royalties for that. Mm-hmm. So he called like a boycott to that, and the people did. And now they had to take off Chappelle's show off those streaming platforms because they've just always
show.
been.
He created. Well, that's his show.
Yeah, he created that. It's literally his name, Chappelle's show. Like. Mm-hmm. You can't do it without Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
So.
NANI?